interesting and action-packed day of WCS Challengers so far, but we've got one final series to close things out for Group B and this weekend for WCS NA and EU Challenger. My name is Fear Dragon. I'm joined by Ink Control at the desk, and we are getting ready to move into puCK versus Cuddlebear.
If you could please introduce me as my full title, a former StarCraft and StarCraft 2 player.
It says actually former StarCraft 2 and Brood War player.
Show him. Show him production. What does that say, Ravi?
Oh, I misread this.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right.
As the StarCraft 2 guru, North American Star. Never mind. There's no joke here. I like it. It's good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I was like, joke to Ravi, and Ravi's like, get that out of my face.
I don't know what to do with that. It's
here.
like, oh wow, yeah, I like that
You
name.
tried to correct me. It says Brood War, and I'm like, well, even if we do, like what? Anyways.
Well, I think this is gonna be.
That went better than the last game for puCK, I would say.
I was gonna say, well, our final match here is set up. We got Cuddlebear versus puCK, and I do think that as much of a bopping as that last game was for puCK, I think that this is possibly going to go similarly, but with the opposite direction, where puCK is going to be bopping someone else.
Strong opinions over there. I think this could possibly be the opposite. But yeah.
All right.
You're not a big fan of the Cuddlebear. You think he's going down here?
You know, I am actually a big fan of Cuddlebear. He's a very, very nice guy. He actually does pretty well in the North American scene. But the thing about Cuddlebear is I don't look at him as a spiky player. And I think that there is like the concept of there are spiky players who do.
He's just even keel.
Yeah, he's kind of like the gradually rising, gradually getting better, which is really cool. But he's one of the more, I would say, players that is oftentimes more consistent.
Okay.
So he doesn't really do super poorly, but he also doesn't.
When you
do
say
super
consistent, but say he's gonna get bopped, you mean consistently mediocre? Is what you're saying?
I wouldn't use the word mediocre, but like he's consistently around his level.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Just so you know, by the way, that doesn't make them feel better. I wouldn't say mediocre. I'd say consistently his level.
Look, I would say Jon Snow is like a similar way, though. Jon Snow is one of those players, he doesn't really play super under his level. He doesn't really play super over his level either.
Fear Dragon's that guy who's like, hey, I got a friend I want you to meet. You guys go on a blind date. And they're like, oh, what's their name? And he's like, they're really funny. Don't worry, they're funny people. Really jolly. Yeah?
Oh my god.
What else? Do they do anything for work? They're funny.
For a living?
For a living, they're funny?
Yeah. That's not bad. That'd be a pretty good sell.
Well, that wasn't quite what I was going for, Fear Dragon, but I like it.
All right. Well, spawning down here in the bottom right, we do have our red Protoss player from Rude Gaming. It's puCK.
At least we're standing closer together, so there's not that awkwardness, you know what I mean?
I step away a little bit every single time the game starts. But in your defense,
I step closer, though.
Yeah. Well, in my defense, it's also to use this keyboard, so.
Fair enough.
Actually, no, you do step away every time.
Don't break the immersion. Maybe I'm closer. Right. That's what I was saying.
That's true. All right, well, spawning up here in the top left, we do, of course, have our blue Terran player. It's Cuddlebear from Rise Esports.
Cuddlebear.
You know, a lot of people find his name extremely funny.
You don't? You're normalized to it?
I think I'm normalized to it at this point. 3-4 years of seeing him. But there are some funny names in the NA scene. But I'm going to wait until...
You told me about one of them.
I'm going to wait until they qualify for Challenger.
Yeah.
Not really. I'm going to see what Blizzard asks me or how they ask me to...
It comes up.
Yeah, you know, sometimes some people have some interesting tags for their names, if you know what I mean.
We can only allude to this, guys. Even Bad Boy Jeff is not going to try to bait Fear Dragon into what some of these North American hooligans have done. Oh, recall.
There's probe recall. Oh, okay. You know, I'm used... I guess... Okay. So I actually did some of the math on this at some point.
You crunched the numbers.
Yeah, it actually is slightly more efficient to do that over an extra chrono boost. I think I did the math on that. But it's if you see the Reaper there, I guess the interesting thing is if the Reaper is already out and gets one hit before you actually start the recall, it's actually too late. So I guess it kind of makes sense. You just recall the probe because you think it's just a little bit too late to do anything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, this Reaper's going to get a tour of the Protoss base here a little bit. Shade is not going. It's in a predictive stance, I suppose.
No tech actually coming down. Ooh, I like that whole position on this probe, even though it might get picked off over. Oh my god, that was so sick.
Play of the day. To the top of Reddit we go.
Actually, I've never seen someone do that before.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. We got the proxy starport coming down on the top north side.
Yeah, I feel like Cuddlebear, after recently being decried as mediocre by commentator and host Fear Dragon here at the WCS, he's playing with a little bit more fire in his belly. You know what I'm saying?
We got a little bit more to prove. You know, I only berate the players to make them feel the drive, the burning passion to...
You motivate them. You drive them forward. I like that.
Someone's got to be the bad guy, Jeff.
I'm like thinking of all the cool scenarios where your name's Cuddlebear. You know, like what if in this amazing renaissance of StarCraft 2 it really takes off and Cuddlebear's like this pretty amazing talent signed to the, you know, the Golden State Warriors of StarCraft 2, and they're like, now introducing our top Terran player, Cuddlebear. There's people in the stands dressed as Cuddlebears.
What does a Cuddlebear look like?
Well, after the broadcast, I'll have to show you. Oh my God, the starport got found, by the way.
Oh, wow. What is that probe even doing there?
Exactly.
All right, well, that is going to be nice in the sense that you can immediately start warping in some stalkers. Has an observer here as well in preparation for whatever else could be in there, but he sees it as Hellions. His probe's not being pulled off the line now, but oh boy.
Well,
the stalker is actually going to create... Oh, I thought it was a complete wall, but it's not, and now I think puCK also thought it might have been a complete wall. Loses a lot of probes in the meanwhile.
Oh my God. And the medevac made its way out, didn't it?
Yep, got out of there scot-free.
Well, you know what? puCK actually has 36 probes to just 35 SCVs. We saw a couple of SCVs die. I assume it was to like the adept shading out there and being silly. It's bad. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's good, but it's not so bad that it's like get out of the game puCK type of situation. I think he's actually okay.
And also puCK is going for disruptor drops with speed warp prism, and this is where you kind of say like, yes, he's behind, but he is also making one of the best units to try and reclaim victories, or reclaim, I should say, leads.
Okay, Dark Templar?
No, that's the second best. I think disruptors are, and this is coming from someone who literally mono battles just Dark Templar in his games.
Christmas. What did they do to upset you, Robbie? Why are you doubting Dark Templar?
Have you ever tried playing a PvP with roughly 15 to 20 Dark Templar versus disruptors?
No.
So
did you give them blink?
Spoiler, I did give them blink. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
All of your Dark Templar clump up and die.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like they don't have to, right?
Look.
I feel like you do have the option not to have that.
Look, Jeff. The game is the problem, not me.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
All right. Well, the disruptor drop is going to be coming forward. Gonna look for a couple of... oh, I love that he's just dropping it inside the mineral line, so it's just immediately going to start getting some kills. Doesn't have to wait too long or send the disruptor too far.
I'm watching him as a student watches a master, because I've done some disruptor drops on mineral lines, and I'll tell you what, it's not that it's harder than it looks, it's sillier than it looks. Like, you'll be like, launch into the mineral line, and they grab one SCV and throw it at it, and they're like, yeah, you got one. Yeah,
ever since they changed the disruptor, it has been a little bit harder for a lot of those Protoss players to actually get guaranteed damage on, like, lots of clumps of units. Ooh, sniping off that observer, that's nice.
There's 3 tanks there. Oh, he's dropping on top of them.
Oh, wow. Dropping the cells on top, but the missile turret does snag the warp prism. That's a little bit painful. He's going to be able to get out of there alive with the disruptor, but...
Yeah, it's fine, I think. I mean, we're going to do that weird thing where people are like, no, 2 tanks is 300 minerals, 250 gas, 3 zealots and a warp prism is 500 minerals.
No, I'm with you. I think it was worth it in the end there.
It is.
A very surprising maneuver, though. The only downside, I think, which is not too bad because he is just currently boosting out another warp prism, but it's just that he kind of loses the mobility or the ability to continue harassing for a little bit. And that kind of sucks.
Oh, this is weird. It's just an 8 Marine drop.
Is that weird?
By itself, just going out on the map, just, you know, yeah. I mean, it's not weird, I guess. I'm trying to be polite as a commentator. It's just kind of bad. And of course, now that I've said that, it's going to kill 30 probes and depower all the gateways and it'd be amazing, but he's just pulling it back. You know what he is actually doing? He's fishing for a warp prism with that, I think.
Okay, you know, I also like that he's just leaving a bunch of Marines around the map and just kind of, he almost just unloads the Marines from the medevac and just says, I'm just going to get some scouting information with this. So I can see.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, that is not the correct way to pull.
That was kind of cool. So the first one he drops, and I don't know if it's on purpose or not, but they all clumped up and ran away.
Yeah.
Then he drops them again for the 8 kill, and that's a big deal.
That's pretty solid.
15 probe advantage at this point in time.
Well, You know, I would say puCK has overcome whatever damage those Hellions done at this point.
Yeah.
Third base also does get scanned, so Cuddlebear goes for a move out, stims forward, and finds a Zealot. The Warp Prism wasn't actually over there, so I guess he got kind of baited in the wrong direction for a moment.
Yeah. Now this army's going to push forward. It's got a lot to do.
Good scanning on the Observer.
Army advantage is in favor of Cuddlebear. Now, the Disruptors are good, but tanks are an okay unit to kind of counter that as well, as long as you don't get hit from the Disruptor in the back here. But I think puCK's warping in units as a flank over there by the Warp Prism. Oh, that's a lot of Protoss.
All right, we'll take a look at that Warp Prism in a little bit.
If he had a Banshee to pick off this Nexus, I'd feel a lot better, you know?
Yeah. He has been picking off a lot of the Observers, but okay, here we go. I mean, the Bio is just going to get forced back immediately. There are the Zealots coming in from that Warp Prism flank. Although the Marines do manage to unload and actually save the tanks, and there's reinforcements coming as well, so he is starting to find some success with this attack.
The Warp Prism is painfully far away, by the way. That's where that... Oh my god, the load up! Okay. Grubby looked away, I was like...
Well, there's no blink. No safe. Oh my god! What was that?
Tank skill, a little overzealous sometimes, all right?
Oh my god.
Now there's a lot of Zealots.
I thought there was Widowmines friendly fire for a moment. Okay, the Zealots are going to be able to clean up those siege tanks. Widowmine does some damage, but it is not enough to clean those up. The rocks getting knocked down because puCK, I think, is ready to move across the map.
Yep. Worker and army supply securely in his favor. In the meantime of that fight, by the way, Cuddlebear was not making more SCVs. If you want to check for me, I think there's no third
he didn't
CC.
get a third, yeah, so it makes sense that he kind of cut the SCV production.
So that's it. I mean, that's all but it, I guess.
Oh, Cuddlebear, I don't think that's going to work.
The main base, is that, what is going in there? Is that the Warp Prism? It sure is.
Warpin, ooh, didn't even unload Disruptor or anything, just straight up Zealot Warpins for reinforcing. Well, the Widowmines do connect pretty squarely with all of those Zealots and connect with the Archon, but oh my god, that Disruptor connection. 22 kills, not bad.
Not a bad Disruptor indeed, my friend. The Zealots are on top of the production, so this has to be taken serious. The Warp Prism's still there too, and there's no Vikings or anything. This two-prong attack is going to become a sandwich, and the meat and cheese and mayonnaise is going to be Cuddlebear.
Okay, well, Cuddlebear...
Well, now it's an open base sandwich. There's only one side to it.
Well, unfortunately, Cuddlebear also lost that third base. Losing a little bit. I'm grasping at straws here now, Jeff, on thinking about how this game turns around.
It'll be a tough one.
That is a good start, but it is not going to be enough.
Yeah, that moment when you kill one Archon, but then 4 comes swinging around the corner, like, oh, oh boy.
That moment when you're pulling SCV straight into Archons. Yeah, also not a great moment. Oh,
you fought well, Cuddlebear, but unfortunately, this is going to be over. More SCVs, I guess.
I mean, it's sort of a rough situation because it was not only the Disruptor drop that managed to get all of those kills early on, but it's also the fact that there was a third base behind this for puCK. He was able to secure a massive economic lead, and I feel like the push from Cuddlebear, it almost worked, but it was just a little bit shy of actually getting enough done.
Yeah. It does have the good idea, but the flank attacks, like again, if you face a lesser Protoss where they are just frontal assaulting that dug-in position, then yeah, you can get something out of that. But unfortunately, when the Zealots kept swinging around behind the backside, and you know, your economy is a little bit stilted. Like, if you only lost the 4 SCVs, that's fine. But when you're doing a 2-base all-in and you lose a total of something like 15 SCVs, that is all but... I mean, if you're on 3 CCs and you're dropping mules and you got a nice pick-off early or something like that, that can do it. But that wasn't the case. He killed 8 probes with 4 Hellions and a medevac. And that would have been wonderful had he not then also lost twice that back at home. So... well done by puCK to go tit for tat with Cuddlebear, I would say. Because again, this could have been a very different game. That 2-base timing attack is really good if your Protoss opponent is starving for minerals, but he just wasn't.
All right, and with that, we get ready to hop into game number 2. puCK going to be sitting up 1-0 and is 1 game away from moving on to, of course, those playoffs in about 2 weeks' time. But Cuddlebear still got a little bit of fight left in him, and show that he is not afraid to also get a little bit cheeky with the aggression. I mean, we even go back to like the earlier Hellion drop. Yes, of course it did.
Got scouted.
I mean, exactly. It got some damage on, but it was also scouted. So you know what? Imagine if he is able to pull something out where it doesn't entirely get just foreseen a little bit in the future. puCK doesn't have as much time to react. Might even be able to get some other kind of situational advantages in the game. So. I would not be surprised, though, if puCK just continues to go for a lot of these Disruptor drops, because not only does it work in that last game, but it's just what puCK likes to do anyways.
It's fun. Looks good. You could be right. I mean, certainly a Warp Prism is going to be involved. And it's not like if you go for a Disruptor drop, there's some crazy hard counter your opponent can do. They can shut it down and you don't get the harass off, but still, I've seen puCK do this and a lot of other top-tier Protoss players as well, but like when the army's moving across the map, you drop it behind, hit the Disruptor shot, the reinforcements, that kind of stuff. It's really tough to deal with. And it's also just scary on a conceptual level even too. If you're going to do a push, but you also have to worry about a Disruptor hitting your bio, or if you do a couple of tanks and they hit the 2 tanks together, I mean, that can just end the game for you.
Disruptor's pretty strong. Very, very powerful units in a lot of these situations. But all right, next map is going to be Dreamcatcher, it looks like.
Yep.
Dreamcatcher is actually a really nice map for just abusing a Warp Prism, running around your opponent's main base, their natural. If they try and take a third, if it does get to that point where Cuddlebear is attempting that, like that's also incredibly difficult to defend against a lot of the harassment. So I like a lot of that for puCK. If Cuddlebear can maybe get a little bit more aggressive with some of his own medevac drops, not just like the single medevac drop, but you know, like getting that multi-prong harassment, I wouldn't hate that either.
You wouldn't hate it?
No, not in this map.
Okay. Could be. It could happen. Maybe the catch to be, or the dream to be caught, is the drop dream.
A dream drop?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said drop dream, but dream drop is actually probably better. Because a dream drop is like, you know, a dream. Everything came together and worked out for it, right?
Yes?
Yeah. There's no trap here. You're safe.
Okay. I'm just very confused.
You can agree. I'm trying to say at least that's the better way to say it.
All right. I don't understand. I don't understand why, but okay, I'll take it.
You're like, he's agreeing with me? What's happening here?
I don't know.
You know what? Before we introduce the players, by the way, the startled and scared look on your face reminded me we owe it to our fans and everyone watching to thank Blizzard for putting this on. I thought the production team did a great job here at the Blizzard Arena. It's really fun to do this here.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been giving compliments and enjoying that instead of just doing WCS broadcasts for Challenger out of like Roddy's bedroom with a weird Feanord thing, a flag behind him, and Todd sitting crisscross applesauce somewhere on the bed. We have a full studio. We have professional broadcasters like Zombie Grub and myself, and then they brought you here too.
Exactly. They need an audience, like a fan audience interaction. Yeah, so they brought me in.
Dreams do come true.
Okay, well, spawning up here in the top left-hand corner of the map, we have our blue Terran player. It is Cuddlebear from Rise Esports.
Cuddlebear. Maximilian's his name?
I didn't actually know that. That's pretty cool.
Only got named that in like Richie Rich movies. It's amazing.
Well, spawning down here in the bottom right, we have the red Protoss player. It is Brandon Quall, aka puCK.
See, and I would have named him E.
What?
If I was his parents, I would have named him E.
That proved.
And they'd be like, "What's your name, son?" He'd be like, Equal.
That's pretty good. That's pretty clever.
I thought you'd like that.
I do appreciate that. I appreciate all the dad jokes that you give for Zombie Grub too.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I realized your role in that relationship the second I say it to her, and she looks at me and looks like she's died like 1,000 times.
She's like, not you two.
Like, well, I'll get you to laugh.
I'm actually surprised that the probe immediately just was had gotten picked away at so much that it's down to 1 hit point that early on. But
that surprised you?
Yeah, I think it was before the barracks even finished up. Yeah. So
a lot of violence so early in its life, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I'm not used to seeing that kind of violence this early on. Yeah. Usually it's like, around.
More healthy than that.
Yeah. You kind of hit those teen years as a probe.
Use some shields, but those just recharge. That's fine.
Okay. I don't know where to take that anymore, Jeff.
I'm trying to out-weird you. Like, this is what you do to me. I'm over there hosting, and you'll say something like, I think his saving grace is that he's still alive. And I'll be like, my troll brain can't let this go, but I have to.
I've actually just been a massive test for you.
Yeah, I've evolved. You say these questions, and I'm like, I can feed off of this as a troll for weeks. But as a professional commentator, I have to let it go. And of course, as I'm saying this, I'm not letting it go. That's the irony, but that's a dead Reaper, right? No, of course not.
Oh!
God dang it.
You didn't believe.
I can't say anything correctly.
All right, well, we got that Robo first coming out from puCK once again. We got a couple of SCVs going down, actually, to the Adept. Ooh, the supply depot was down. 3 SCVs.
And then it lets the Adept out.
Wow. Oh, yeah, that's I like the load up at least.
Everyone forgets about that. Go inside of it.
Uh,
Probably die.
Wait, where'd he go?
Great question. You have the power to figure it out.
It's been a long day, Josh.
It has been a long day. We got here at 6 a.m., everybody. And it's going on 2 o'clock. And thankfully, the North American scene has been like... It's like, I feel like the three of us happened across like a little bushel of hallucinogenic mushrooms or something like that. And I was like, you know what?
That's a good way to describe
Let's
that
all
earlier,
eat these
Steve.
mushrooms and just see what happens. And we ate the mushrooms, and now we're like, wow. Those 3 stalkers did ward off 4 full health Marauders that the guy then later goes on to lose the game. Yeah. With a depowered gateway, by the way. I am sorry. I'm like completely obsessed with how crazy that moment was.
Yeah. All right, looks like a single Hellion managed to get its way into the main base and probably scouted out that robotics bay as well, so it wouldn't be too much of an assumption to kind of say, yeah, there's a good chance there's going to be disruptor drops.
Yeah, with speed. Love it. It's really fun to watch. It's exciting gameplay.
Yeah. I wonder, what do you want to see differently from Cuddlebear outside of the fact that obviously leaving SCVs idle in a giant clump?
2 Vikings.
Good. 2 Vikings?
Next question, yeah.
Okay. Ooh, actually, you know, I don't hate the
there's
Raven
one.
Also. Yeah, there's 1 Viking, and then the Raven, you try and disable the Warp Prism.
Yeah.
If you catch the Warp Prism after it's unloaded the Disruptor, you can just kill the Disruptor.
You're the useless facts guy, but this is a useful fact, so I want to know if you know this one. Is the lockdown shot 50 energy? Did they come with enough to do that?
No, it's a little bit more, I believe.
Like 75?
I think it might be 75. That would make sense. That's usually in those.
You know what though? I've seen him shoot 2 missile or 2 shots twice.
That's true, but I swear I was watching the PvT earlier today, and I was looking at that icon. I thought it was off. Yeah, he doesn't have enough energy. Oh no, sorry. Oh, it's anti-armor missile. That's more than 50 energy.
Yeah, yeah.
The interference matrix is just 50.
That's what I thought.
Oh, nice. Auto turret sniping off the observer.
Here comes the Warp Prism. The game is afoot.
Okay. Well, now the Raven does not have enough energy to actually use the interference matrix for a bit.
Yeah.
I like the Zealot also. The Zealot's just going to add in a little bit of extra potential for doing some sort of harassment. Okay. Unloads the Zealots first, gets the Disruptor shot off on the tank, and the Zealot cleans it up.
That's pretty cool. It's incredibly, like I'll tell you what, all 10,000 of you watching right now, do not try that at home, because I'll tell you how it goes for the rest of us. You're like, I've seen puCK do this, everything dies.
You know, that's also just such a perfect identification of, you know, you pre-split all of your Marines.
Yeah.
They're really spread out, so you actually are not going to be super prepared for this. Oh, wow, just even goes to the SCVs, just ignores all the Marines. It's like, yeah, you're spreading those, not really worrying about your mineral line, are you?
And there's the Viking.
Okay.
Behind this, by the way, puCK is getting a 3rd base. He's up 9 probes, which isn't an insurmountable number. The problem is, well, as I say, the Warp Prism's coming around. If it circles back around and gets a couple of more shots, 4 you can manage. It's when it gets to like 10 plus SCVs dead that Terrans really feel the sting. Like you can actually see it in the size of their army. And no 3rd CC so far, by the way, so we might be seeing another 2-baser.
Okay, but he's not really going to be moving out until at least Stim and combat shields are done, and probably +1 weapons. Circumventing the Viking. Also avoiding a handful of those Marines. Not taking too much damage on that Warp Prism just yet. Oh,
recall out? Oh, the Viking.
Mode. I don't... Oh, does he have enough health to recall out? Yeah, now he does.
I guess he just flies away. It's the Reaper of Protoss. Yeah, he's just so fast.
Marines. Oh.
He canceled himself.
Well, I don't blame him on that one. The Warp Prism was actually getting focus fired down, but in the center of the map, we do have that big move out right before, actually a good bit before Stim and +1 weapons. Is this just sort of out of necessity at this point?
Yeah, he must just feel like he has to get something done. He is taking a 3rd behind this, so it's not going to be the
Warp
same
Prism.
kind of
the Warp Prism, Disruptor.
That's a fantastic pickup. No, now he really has a chance. Some Templar coming in, they're looking for that Raven, but in doing so, they put themselves in harm's way. Gonna back up, makes 1 Archon, kind of awkwardly. So has the energy though. Do it! Feedback!
Anti-armor missile does cover a lot of those units, including those Archons that are sitting at the front line. And hey, Cuddlebear starting to make some progress, but I think this army for puCK is large enough, especially with the Stim forward. Problem is 3rd base is getting focus fired down, and he's losing time. It looks like he's giving it up.
Yeah, it's a dead 3rd, and if puCK tries to like spite fight this army, I think that would be a huge mistake. As long as the missile is up and his army is softened like that, he can't do it, but it does wear off. Now behind this, it's a late third for Cuddlebear, so this is a little bit of a gut check moment for puCK. Like, that was a bad loss, don't get me wrong, but it's not game over yet. He can still come back in this as long as he doesn't throw his army away.
Oh, puCK getting really aggressive with a very small-looking army right now. He's already knocked down the rock, so he can't really escape out of here. Immortal starting to take a lot of damage after having been anti-armor missile. The Marines relentless here, and I think he's going to be able to snag another Immortal or two, maybe the game.
I believe he will snag the game here, as long as his own Widow Mines don't betray him.
Yep, gets the Immortal and the Archon instead. Shield Battery is going to keep him alive for a little bit longer. Looks like
8 SCVs died to a single, I think it was the
Adept and the Zealot, yeah. Oh, Cuddlebear a little bit taxed right now, but he's going to be able to snag this third base, it looks most likely.
Cuddlebear is down 18 workers.
Oh, this is an abusable spot. This is a very abusable spot.
Yeah.
If he can shut down both of these pylons, there's 3 gateways left over in the Robo. Okay, so he can still produce a decent number of units.
Yeah. I liked your excitement about it. He does get the upgrade. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, and I mean, you as a Protoss know that feeling where you're like, I have a good army and a good economy, and then you lose all your pylons. You're like, I'm not producing more units, and my opponent is. Yeah.
Now the third is up and running for Cuddlebear. Behind in workers, sure, but he's going to have access to 3 mules at a time now. And puCK, as Spear Dragon pointed out, just lost an upgrade, lost a little bit of build time off those gateways. The Nexus went down as well. It is tough times over here, but that being said, if you're a puCK fan, rejoice. It's 10 minutes, and he has disruptors. He does not lose from here. And I know earlier he did, but not now. No, he actually didn't. He actually won that game.
Yeah, exactly. Get wrecked.
Yeah, I did. I wrecked myself.
Well, double Robo also is going to mean that very soon he's going to have double Disruptor production, and that is going to be a bit annoying for Cuddlebear to eventually deal with. Because once you get up to the high numbers of Disruptors, that's when I think the Terran players, especially I would say like the kind of mid-tier Terran players, really start to struggle with, because just splitting and dealing with them becomes a bit too much of a task. But I love the Cuddlebear just going into the main base, unloads his whole dang army there. Recall is being forced out, but the Widow Mines are getting into a nice spot, and this is not an easy position to break into.
No, I would say not. There's the disruptor shot of Hope and Dream, but it's not going to be able to do it. Dream Catcher, man. This was a map we talked about where maybe Cuddlebear could get his dreams caught. And I think he did.
Well,
I think he did.
Yeah, Disruptor not going to be enough there. The Immortals getting taken out. The Zealots, and it looks like the Archon's actually still left. He will be able to clean this up, but he lost a decent amount.
Would you call it a decent amount?
I mean, he lost a lot there. I'm trying to remember what buildings he lost specifically. Oh, the third base is actually still being dropped. Okay, that should be too much.
We're in the tipping point.
Yeah. I still had some hope because I was like, he has 2 more Disruptors on the way. It's after the 10-minute mark.
It is after the 10-minute mark, yeah. This is the thing.
Now, the third base going down, that is a pretty difficult thing to overcome.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the 3rd time, too. puCK is still in this one. He's going to try to fight it out, but as Spear Dragon pointed out, you'll notice that it's 21 out of 10 workers on the natural. So the income right now for puCK is worse than we're even talking about. It's not even like he has 2 bases, which is what you see on the minimap. It's more of like a base 0.5 or something silly like that.
Yeah.
Actually, if you can show the income tab, let's feel it. Let's feel the pain together.
That's going pretty well for Cuddlebear, I would say.
Wow.
But puCK has got some units over on the left-hand side. Does he have a War Prism? No, it's just the Zealots. And he's actually going to catch an awkward moment where a lot of the reinforcements are on the other side of the map. Cuddlebear is going to be able to react to this in time. Ooh, even has a Ghost here for the EMP. Oh, that's gonna do it in for those Archons very quickly.
Well, yeah, everybody, I think. It's like such a sad moment when you're like, well, maybe I can fight back, but then they have Ghosts, and you're like, well, now I can't go Templar. Archons, where I would dump my gas, are a huge liability, and the Terrans just so far ahead. I mean, Liberators, what's the answer for this? What? The Archons?
Yeah, the Liberators are completely uncontested. He's trying to EMP he does EMP the Observer. There's still one more Observer, but long distance
third for you. Sit on your natural. Yeah, you can spam out some disruptor shots. That's fine.
Scanning the goal, just confirming. Okay, you don't have a hidden expansion or something, right? I was watching that series versus Scarlet earlier.
And I think puCK doesn't have Blink, by the way, because he lost the Twilight Council.
Yep.
Oh, no, he does have. No, yeah, he's got Blink. Okay.
Okay.
just amazing.
Oh, I guess the
upgrades.
Twilight Council didn't get sniped off.
Oh,
got
we
depowered.
thought it would.
It just got depowered.
All right, fair enough.
Stalker's getting prepared for a big Doom drop, which I guess would be not a bad way for Cuddlebear to start maybe throwing this game
right under the observer.
into a bad spot.
It's right under the observer.
Yep. Oh, he has all the Stalkers right at the forefront, though. I wish he had baited it out a little.
Yeah. He actually probably should have, I guess, because that would be like the one way. Because even then, I honestly believe if he picks off 3 or 4 of those medevacs for free, he still doesn't win the game. But that would be like the beginning of how it's possible.
Yeah, I don't think it would be enough, but it would be enough that he could eventually then actually take a 3rd base.
5 Liberators at a time, Fear Dragon. 5.
Oh, okay, you know. Yeah, if you get up 3 starports.
There's the range upgrade. I mean, if you have like a healthy 3-base economy, dealing with that's tough. 5 off of what he has right now? Forget about it.
All right, well, puCK's in an awkward spot where he can't even do something like double expand because that requires minerals, Jeff. He doesn't quite have that right now.
I like Cuddlebear, though. He's like, you know what, all right, I'm doubling him in supply. You know what, I should go out here and end it. Yeah, okay, let's do it.
I like that he's also getting a cloak, just if he wants...
4 upgrades to 1, by the way, as well.
Yeah, that's not great. Oh boy, there's the big EMP on at least the Disruptors. Gets one of the Archons as well.
I would just, unsatisfying, I would just tap out and be like, you don't get to see my stuff die.
You know what, Peely actually told me a really interesting thing. He said in PvP, when he used to play versus puCK, in like the opposite sort of situation, if puCK was winning a game and like a big Disruptor shot was just about to like end the game, this is before the Disruptor chain.
Yeah.
He said he would tap out before the Disruptor shot connected because he knew that puCK felt too good when the Disruptors connected, and it actually gave him momentum in the next game.
Yeah, I think that there's something to that. I've always talked about it from the angle of if you're in a game like this and it's just, if you're upset, playing on is only going to make you more upset because there's no amount of micro, there's no cool battle that brings you back into this. You are only either tilting yourself more or calming yourself down. So it really comes down to the player. And by the way, there's an invisible threshold. So for people that are wondering, I'm not talking about if you just get behind, immediately leave.
Yeah.
I mean if you're this far behind.
Yeah,
100+ supply.
And remember that puCK is up 1-0, so he still has another game that he can play out. It's not like this is the end of his challenger run if he loses this game. So he is going to continue to fight it out. He's still keeping those Disruptors alive, Jeff. But those Liberators, like you said, the Stalker count has already, I think, been halved, or 75% of what it was originally.
He's mining 5 minerals at a time. Okay, there he goes. He goes back to it. And here comes the counterattack from puCK. He's going to blink those Stalkers out there.
Disruptors holding the line.
And literally can't kill a planetary. Like that army.
Well, that's what the Archons for, is to take care of the SCV's repair.
Yeah, I guess there's some pretty crazy magical scenarios that could happen.
All right, Stalkers doing a decent job on the counterattack, but now the Liberators siege up, and oh, wait a second, yeah, you don't actually have any units here, puCK, so the Liberators don't actually care about what ground units you have.
You don't even have to bring up the army. Just put the Liberators.
Oh.
Cool shots, man. The Liberators are in the air, though. Okay.
Stalker's dead. I think they actually killed that.
Recalling back.
Recalling back to the main, because there's so many Liberators siege up, you would lose them if you recalled anywhere else.
This is when, like, we as Wrestling.
The Disruptors are safest in the center of the map right now.
puCK, have a flight in a few hours, man. You gotta get out. You gotta get out of the game.
Oh yeah, you actually do.
No, I'm fine. We're cool.
Yeah, not immediately.
Our schedule has planned for this moment right here where puCK is refusing to leave the game. I just think he's like in a tree fort, and they're like, puCK, puCK, there's a whole nother game to play, bud. And he's like, all right, I'll come out.
All right, Cuddlebear takes the second game in a bit of a painful ending there for puCK, but, you know.
Maybe not, though. Like I said, maybe he was like, I died 5 minutes ago, and I'm just going to fight on and see if I, Some players, it can get them calmed down. It can.
That's fair. I hope that's the way it is for puCK, because I know in the past he's definitely had, I think he's sometimes fallen on the latter end of what I think you were talking about, where can actually spiral a little bit further out of control. But, puCK's been actually working a lot on his mentality lately. He's just been enjoying the game a lot more, so I have some confidence in that.
Yes, but to go in the direction you might have been going, Fear Dragon, all of a sudden, with that loss, he is 1 map away from losing to Cuddlebear at the group stage of WCS. This is puCK, who, in his mind, with a few good maps and some great practice, can win WCS, or at least put himself in a challenger in a place where he could be in the top 4. To lose to Cuddlebear here, and this is no slight to Cuddlebear, it's just that it's his first time. He's not a huge ladder monster. He's not some upcoming talent. He's just a North American player that's having a great time. This would be embarrassing for puCK. This would be a rough loss.
Yeah.
Tough.
I think it's so difficult with the way that puCK plays specifically. And I think this is a lot of the reason why you end up seeing a lot of volatility with his performances, where sometimes seems like he'll just like lose and you're like, really? puCK lost to that player or something? But I think it's because his playstyle is so dependent on these like very razor thin like tightrope walks, where Disruptor Drop is a really good example of that, right? Like we were looking at that earlier push that Cuddlebear was doing over by the 3rd. And you remember the Warp Prism retreating back
got picked off.
With the Disruptor, it gets picked off. If that Warp Prism is there, then suddenly we're saying, oh, you know, this actually, like, this really should be held by puCK. But he loses that Warp Prism. He doesn't have any others or any Disruptors left. And suddenly you're like, oh, actually, puCK, you can't defend your 3rd anymore. It's like those kinds of tightrope walks that he does so often. I think you actually phrase it really well with Zombie Grub. It's sometimes what will win him the game when he goes for these kinds of plays, but it'll sometimes lose him the game when it's just like a small mistake loses it.
I agree with everything you said, Fear Dragon, and thankfully for puCK, he is in a position because he won that first map to kind of recalibrate. So maybe he looks at this game 3 and goes, it looks like this guy's just doing kind of 2-base Marine Bio tank pushes into a 3rd maybe. If I just play solid with some Blink Stalkers, a Warp Prism for counter harass, and just shut him down with my macro, I should win this. I would personally like to see that as opposed to, let's go back to the Disruptor stuff. And if it just loses, then I can lose everything. I think that is too risky for how good he is. I agree.
All right. Well, as soon as the players are ready, we're going to get started. 16-bit is going to be the next map. Another fantastic map for a lot of that drop harassment
good
and
for Protoss too, though.
play.
It is good for Terran. I don't disagree with you at all. But it's also, if you give a Protoss 3 pretty safe bases, I like Stargate openings here as well. I know that puCK really doesn't do that, but this map kind of begs for it. Get a few Phoenix out, and you can kind of shut down the drop.
He'll throw them in every so often. I'm not sure if he does it as much the past like month or so, but I know he definitely has not been shy to open up with those Stargate and like, open up with an Oracle plus Phoenix or whatever.
Okay. Well, here we are. Final map of the weekend, boys and girls.
Let's do it. Spawning up here in the top right, we got our blue Terran player. It is Cuddlebear.
What a cool story that would be if he just shows up and in this group comes 2nd to Scarlet. Not bad, but in order to do that, he'd have to upset this guy right here in the lower left-hand side, the red Protoss. It's puCK.
That would just be a nutty weekend where we have Antis advancing out as well as Cuddlebear, the 4th seeds in each one of these groups.
Oh, wow. Interesting point, yeah.
Got a nice early probe scout heading out across the map, making sure that there's no shenanigans coming out from Cuddlebear.
Yep, and so far I'm liking the way it's shaping. I would be disappointed if Cuddlebear went for a proxy or something wild like that. I think if you are Cuddlebear, we talked a lot about this from puCK's perspective, but Cuddlebear, just do more of the same. That game 2, really good drop harass, really good decision making and well controlled. There's a couple of disastrous potential drops, but if you're a Terran player, by the way, that's kind of your life. It's not just a Cuddlebear thing. Like, they're always, you know, flying by the seat of their pants, basically. And let puCK get too fancy, maybe. Let puCK throw this in your face for you.
Yeah. I mean, I think we talked about this with puCK in previous seasons, but kind of getting fancy is what puCK does and is what allows him to make comebacks, but sometimes it's what also means that he's taking risks sometimes when he's ahead and he doesn't need to take risks, because that's just sort of the way that puCK likes to play StarCraft. It's a very fun, flashy style, but sometimes backfires for that reason.
Absolutely agreed.
I really like that kind of idea that you're saying of just, as Cuddlebear, try and let puCK maybe sometimes play a little too fancy and then just find the opportunities that you can try and punish him.
Yep. puCK will throw a hidden Nexus out there. Likes the Warp Prism play, and Warp Prism play is super powerful and really great, but especially if you go the Disruptor route, exactly like you pointed out earlier, it can be one of those things where it can be what gets you back into the game, or it can throw a lead that you have away. It's just a tough tightrope to walk. Now, so far, both players playing really standard. It's going to be the Nexus in Cybernetics Core. We don't see a tech path just yet.
Yeah.
With it finished, though, because this, I would have thought we would have seen a Stargate by now if he was going to go that route, so maybe just Robo.
Yeah, Reaper has not actually gotten too much scouting information just yet, just now popping on in. And I think he also has that reactor finishing up next to the barracks. It's coming from the barracks, and the factory's going to be finishing up. So there's a chance he could even just go make a couple of Hellions, go for something cheeky like a Hellion drop or something, but no proxy starport coming out just yet or anything.
And on the other side of the map, is that another Adept or is that a Stalker?
That's just a probe.
Just a probe, okay.
Yep.
And there is the Robo. So this Reaper getting some nice scouting here. Yeah, a little help actually from the grenade.
Yeah. Reaper's going to get picked off, and there are Widow Mines coming out behind this as well. And Starport, of course, also coming down way back at home.
I love the reactor, actually. So you can drop off the 2 Widow Mines. You can wait for 4 if you really want to, or you can go 2. It is going to be 4, and I see a lot of players do Cyclones after that. So you actually, by the time the medevac kind of gets over to the Protoss side of the map, you also have like 4 Cyclones, which can shut down drops or even pressure the front.
Yeah. Widow Mine drops can definitely be pretty effective, as we saw actually with the European groups earlier today.
Oh yeah.
Against Hearthstone. Scan actually comes down to find out what the tech path is and confirms, yes, it is in fact a Robo. Observer going to be coming out first as well, and we'll see if that robotics bait gets thrown down. He doesn't quite have his 3rd and 4th gas geysers just yet, but we'll see. He's got the gas saved up for it.
Yeah, he's added 2 gateways. I don't think he will, but I mean, as I say that, it's just what he loves to do, so maybe. Yep, there it is. Absolutely. Okay. And it is going to be a 2nd observer. Now, that's pretty important. A little bit different with Widow Mines these days. You don't need to see them as well. You just need to sacrifice something, hopefully not your whole mineral line. But this whole game comes down, at least at this moment, to this. If a Protoss loses anywhere in the ballpark of 10 probes, I mean, that's it. It's pretty tough to come back from that.
Yeah. puCK actually has his Stalkers spread out a little bit more than I would say some of the previous games, where a lot of the previous games it felt like all of his Stalkers are just at the right place at the right time for those Widow Mine drops, but this game is going to be Stalker countering these Widow Mines, and they all get burrowed successfully.
Pick them up, yep, exactly. And now the damage gets to be a little bit scary, so the other one doesn't get to do anything, and the medevac, excuse me, is really low.
Observer is there, so he can whittle away at these Widow Mines from a bit of a distance.
Oh my god, okay.
Oh.
Wow, because that was...
all of the probes. All of the probes rallying back to the mineral line.
I would just have been like, to the top of Reddit we go!
Oh, that would not have been a fun way for puCK to end this game.
He almost did it too.
Well, because he defends it and doesn't really lose too much more than a single probe. So as close as that was, he gets up the disruptors. Yep. He's going to get up that Warp Prism speed upgrade, and we're going to see continued disruptor harassment. And even in that last game where things did start not quite going so well for him, puCK has been pretty successful with the disruptor drop and his disruptor harassment.
Yep. This is going to be a hard map to do it, though. So I'd love to see him kind of take a little bit more of a cautious approach. It's all the way across the map, so there's just more time between the bases. We already have a Raven out. We talked about this scenario in the past, where it's like he could theoretically shut down the Warp Prism before it drops off the Disruptor, which puts the whole thing at risk, or just do the Disruptor itself. But there's also a Viking out, so that Warp Prism's making its way in now to the natural.
Warp Prism speed about to finish up. There it is.
He's diving. He's diving.
He doesn't have the Zealots this time either, so the siege check is actually going to be a little bit more.
Skills is pretty cool. Where's the Raven?
Raven. Well, I mean, if he disables it, it's not going to really matter too much now.
Oh, well, it's actually worse than that. He drops a turret that's just over there by itself now.
Yeah.
I'm a turret.
I really wish he'd just saved it. I mean, he still has enough energy now because he's had that Raven long enough to throw another Interference Matrix.
Yeah.
But
so that was good. Gets 6 kills.
Warp Prism, very low on hit points, so it's going to have a hard time doing those kind of aggressive dives we've been seeing from him.
No way he tries it again. 2nd Robo and Blink. So we're going to see what happens when puCK does get the tech that he wants, which is going to be Disruptors with Blink Stalkers, and we're going to see if Cuddlebear can deal with that. Now, we were kind of joking earlier, but puCK was telling Fear Dragon that, you know, at 10 minutes or so, if he's got 5 or 6 Disruptors and some Stalkers, he feels like he can't lose to a Terran.
Yeah. All right, SCV is going to be very vulnerable here, and he does manage to get another 6 workers. Warp Prism a little bit low, but Stim is not finished up, so it's not really much chasing it.
Until now. Nope. Speed Warp Prism's too elusive, man.
Yeah, kind of funny thing is, yeah, it's like, you could think about like, oh, the Raven's there, you get Interference Matrix. It's like, yeah, but the Disruptor's not really going to drop out. Like, Warp Prism's just going to run away anyways.
Yeah.
Not much of a difference.
No, it's more if they drop it and then you do it, because then it can't pick up the disruptor, which is kind of cool.
That's
definitely the better one. Yeah.
Again, the disruptor for free, of course.
This army's moving across the map.
Observer has spotted this out, and wow, you know, Cuddlebear has been so on. I've got to commend him that he has effectively picked off every single observer that he ever comes even close to. I guess he has the Raven this time, so it's not as impressive, but he's been pretty good about scanning them as well.
Pretty cool army, but against disruptors, it's gonna be tough. Now, I would love if he goes back to that drop play, because that's when he picks off the observers like this. There's one more that's seeing the army right now, and the Raven spots this. So if he picks this off, which he will, oh, okay, there's still stalkers in there.
Yeah, some
drop on top of the production, maybe?
It's so dangerous too, right? If
it is. Oh, he's coming out.
Oh, stalkers. They don't see the Widow Mines. Okay, he can blink. Does he know about the rest? Oh, wow. Yeah, well handled. Not going to be able to save the Widow Mines either, so Cuddlebear getting forced back in has already lost a large chunk of the, I guess, like the specialty of this army, which is having those Widow Mines to try and buffer a little bit of space.
A little bit greedy. He was setting up for a trap, right? Like a weaker player would just walk into him and take massive damage. But with Blink, you basically get rid of him for free, as long as you're paying attention. Still a good chunk of the army.
Ooh, gets the War Prism.
Oh, he did, okay. By the way, there's an attack up at the 4th base.
Oh yeah, small little double drop. Actually able to snipe off a 4th base that was attempting to be hit. Another drop coming up onto the north side, so he can actually come in for a sandwich. If he can bait this army far enough out, actually kind of like this. If he comes in from the south side, he's got to be prepared for the disruptors, but there's an opportunity for him to maybe find something here.
2 additional starports going down, as well as the ability to get range on those Liberators. And I love that tech path that he's going to return to. Liberators, a good answer for this very strong disruptor play. If you can limit him to 3 bases, excuse me, for any longer, I think that only gets more powerful.
Yeah, not a super easy. It's a much easier said than done kind of thing. Because you got to also, of course, manage those Liberators with all the Blink Stalkers that are out. And puCK is pretty well known for having good Blink Stalker control, but it absolutely can be a very difficult thing for a Protoss player to deal with.
Okay, now this army moving around. One of the other kind of effects, by the way, of picking off those observers is just now we're having 2 more made, but armies can move around mostly undetected. Now the army gets spotted here between the 3rd and 4th, and it's going to have to back away. But if Cuddlebear is going to close this one out, it's going to be, you know, off the back of a few things, but one of the cooler ways for him to do it would be just to show up in a critical spot, have 5 or 6 Liberators siege up, and then there's nothing you can do.
Right. Starts working away at the rocks, decides to back up as he spots out another observer, I guess. Man, how many observers has he killed this game? Okay, just 3. I guess, which
not bad though.
Yeah, he's gonna kill 4th.
Make it 4. Yeah.
Well,
a lot of army, by the way, moving across the map here.
Yeah, puCK is getting very aggressive with these stalkers. A nice kind of thing is that not only are they able to blink around, but if he also finds an opportunity, he can also just try and recall out if he forces his Terran army back.
What's at the 3rd for our Terran friend?
Not a whole lot. It's just a handful of bio units.
No
tank.
Got
a 4th base on the way. No tank on the high ground or anything. This is actually going to be doing quite a bit of damage. It's going to force Cuddlebear.
On the left side, by the way.
Yeah, force Cuddlebear into a position where he has to engage, and he also has to micro on 2 different fronts. Not going quite so well with the disruptors, and hey, here we go. Liberator getting sniped off. These stalkers blinking in on top of the production, like you said.
He's actually going to pick off the upgrade on that as well.
Boy.
And meanwhile, the disruptors are cleaning up the army. A brilliant choice by puCK. Sure, some good shutdown there. There's some bio, but it's never going to be enough to do any significant damage. Meanwhile, on top of the production, GG is called, and Cuddlebear is going to tap out. Really well played by that young man, but the decision to flank with those stalkers and zealots, there wasn't even a War Prism to reinforce it. It was just literally, you're constantly out on the map. I think I can get on top of you. That's what he did, and he won the game.
That's a scary moment, too, because you are, as a Protoss player, you have Blink Stalkers and you have Disruptors. And you say, you know what? I think with pretty much just the Disruptors and maybe like a small spattering of Gateway units, I can defend your entire army. And then he does.
Well, to me, the bigger, I mean, you're right, Fear Dragon, but the scarier part for me is if those stalkers get spotted by anything, and there's an active swarm of Terran units moving back and forth, they're then pinched between a natural that then buttons down and the rest of the army that comes back to deal with that. And if you lose those stalkers, as your opponent is going 3 Starport Liberator, I'm not saying it's game over, but it gets really scary for a player like puCK who should win this game 9 times out of 10. So well played by Cuddlebear to put him in that spot, but it is cool to see puCK rally back after losing a disappointing game and to seal the deal and come out second in this group, which is, I think, where people thought he would go.
Yeah, exactly. And in a very puCK-esque fashion, going for his sort of style of play. Yeah. And very well done. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to mean that was our final series for the day. And both EU and NA finishing up. We take a look and recap the North American groups today. We did start it off with Scarlet getting that quick 2-0 versus the Proxy 2, Raxing Cuddlebear. puCK taking that 2-1 versus Future. Of course, then we saw Cuddlebear beating his teammate Future in that sort of lower bracket match, the higher bracket match. Scarlet advancing out 2-0. And of course, we just closed it out with that last 2-1 from puCK over Cuddlebear. But overall, a fairly good day of StarCraft, I would say.
I can't argue with that. It was a fairly good day of StarCraft.
I mean, I thought that was like a nice little tossover to be like, oh yeah, there was like some of the good games that you enjoyed from EU.
That's when I pull the straw out of my mouth and be like, Fear Dragon, today was all right, man. Today was okay.
All right. Well, we can at least recap some of the things that happened today in terms of who exactly advanced out. We can see so far we've had Neeb and Antis advancing out from Group A. Yep. Group B so far, we've had Scarlet and puCK, and of course, Group C and D are actually going to be played out next weekend on next Saturday and Sunday, so be sure to check that out for North America. Europe also had a couple of players advancing out yesterday as well as today. We had none other than Snoot and a Laser advancing out of Group A, and today...
That is absolutely not true.
Snoot did not advance out.
No,
that's actually correct, yeah. Snoot did not advance out. It was a Laser and Namshar. Laser and Namshar. And then Group B, of course, we did have Euthermal and Serral advancing out. But yeah, overall good day. And of course, those are going to have Group C and D also played out next Saturday and Sunday.
It's been nice. It's building up quite the story as all these players are fighting in Challenger for those points and that money. It's pretty awesome. But we're, of course, building up towards Montreal as well, which is going to be the final WCS stop. And we had a wonderful Austin, a better Valencia.
Yeah.
Can Montreal top Valencia? Can it?
I don't know, Jeff. I went for Montreal last year, and it was pretty damn awesome.
There's only one way to find out, and we need all of you guys to tune in. Where's the camera? It's that one. I never look at that one. I'm sorry, guys. I did the whole weekend not looking at that camera.
It's just there.
Well, the good news is we're done, so I don't.
Yeah.
I don't have to fail looking at this camera.
Yeah. You're safe for 2 more weeks. Wow.
It's been a long day. Let's go. Yeah.
It has. All right. Well, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in for WCS Challenger this weekend. We'll be back for more StarCraft action WCS Challenger the following weekend. Be sure to check out all the other awesome StarCraft going on, and we'll see you till then.